Hey everyone, it's John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you. So I just want to thank you for popping in. Two inspirations for your life. So very great to be with you tonight. We have another great show for you. So we'll get into that in just a minute. But we start on a Saturday and when we roll all the way through the week and we finish up on a Friday. If you are new, you're going to notice a QR code at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Well, just grab your smartphone, launch the camera app, point over the QR code, and touch that little yellow ellipse that you'll see right there on the screen. So you're going to have to just go into the QR code. Sometimes if you don't get the QR code just right, what can happen is you might not actually get it. So make sure when you launch the camera app, you launch the thing, you touch the little yellow ellipse, and you'll get to my link tree. So, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you guys so very much. And I want to thank you guys that are coming back, whether that's 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m., 10 a.m., or 6 p.m. It doesn't really matter. I really do want to thank you very much for being here and supporting all the great stuff that that we have. And I know there's lots of stuff that people are wondering about. What is it? How are things working? And I think it can be a little bit crazy. Um, I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that sometimes what you think you need to know is something you'll learn, but when you're ready. All right, we got a great master topic tonight. Everybody ready for the master topic? Here we go, everyone. Our master topic for tonight is understanding how to tell a story. All right, this is interesting, isn't it? It's a story, and thank you very much for that thumbs up. Really do appreciate that, Daniel. Appreciate that. So a story is something that a lot of people get wrong. How? Well, I think what happens is people they do things for the wrong reasons. All right. When I say they do things for the wrong reasons, they do them for an accolade. They don't do them for a purpose or an ikaije, which is, your purpose of life. And so when I think about a story, all right, we've talked about lots of great stories. A story has to captivate people. It has to get people motivated. That's what a story is about. If you don't have that kind of a story, then it's just a self-gloating prophecy. And that's not what people want to see. People don't want to see that. People want to know that you are going to be sharing something that's of a major value, a major value. And so, by a major value, I'm talking about things that are going to really give you insights in life. So we have fictional stories and we have non-fictional stories. Does everybody remember the difference? So what is the difference between fictional and non-fictional? All right. So again, I want to emphasize this point. So a fictional story um basically is one that's invented as opposed to non-fictional. Now, you would think that non-fictional would be the reverse, but fictional basically is something that's invented, something that is made up. Okay. When we think about stories, you might think about Disney, you might think about Warner Brothers, you can think about a lot of different things, but a story is something that is going to help you remember a situation. Now, I talked about the salt mine story. Let's talk about another story. So, when I was, I'm going to say, excuse me here. Today was a long day. When I was taking a trip with ALSG, American Leadership Study Groups, I remember going to Switzerland, and I remember going to the Matterhorn. Okay, the Matterhorn of Switzerland. And you might be saying, John, what is that? So the Matterhorn of Switzerland is a mountain of the Alps, and it is pretty amazing. The Matterhorn is very beautiful. I remember staying at a hotel, very small hotel, just at the bottom. It was like the only one in town. And also, when I went to the Matterhorn, there was this lift, okay, lift for let's say for spectators, and you got to take the lift all the way to the top. So pretty amazing. Now, the cabin that I was at was actually a 50-person um, cabin. A lot of times they're overcrowded, but we had our whole group there. And I got to tell you, it was an amazing, amazing experience. I mean, really, really amazing. So amazing that it would really, how can I say, it would really it would wow you. Let me just say that it would definitely, definitely wow you. Why is the Matterhorn so spectacular? Well, it's something we don't see every day. And if you're saying to me, John, what can you do in the Matterhorn? Oh my gosh, it was this breathtaking place. We got up in the morning. There were these really big pancakes. Um, and I remember, you know, going outside because it was really cold. And when I went outside, one of the first things I did was to get on the lift to go up to the top of the mountain and to sightsee. And this was really spectacular. Something else we did when we were in Switzerland, I'm sure a lot of people do. In Switzerland, you actually go to we call it a fondue house. So we went to one of the best fondues in Switzerland, and it was just incredible. So it's a ritual, a traditional fare. A fondue came to be something known in the area in the 1930s, and it was a result of an ad campaign by the Swiss Cheese Union. Natives found it to be a great way to avoid wasting leftover cheese and throwing out stale bread. And it's just amazing. And although Switzerland is famous for chocolate, a fondue of chocolate isn't a Swiss uh, tradition. Chocolate fondue was born inside the head of Swiss restaurateur living in New York City back in the 1970s. And the American brides rushed to put fondue pots on their gift registries. It's easy to find fondue in Switzerland, and it's a lot easier than finding the perfect fondue recipe, though. The lists of places are amazing, and just knowing what they have. So you might be saying to me, John, what is the fondue menu in Switzerland? Because I think if you've never gone to one of these places, um, it could be a little daunting, I would say. But there are different kinds of cheese you can get, and while the Swiss have certainly made fondue famous around the world, the origin is difficult to pin down. There's already mentioning of cooking goat cheese, wine, flour in a medley from an epic Iliad in the 800s to 725 BC. The word fondue, though, comes from the French verb fondre, to melt, and has roots in Swiss cantons of Fribourg and Valkis. The first mention of fondue is printed in a form of a cookbook in 1699. It was published under the name Kasmet Wine Kukuchan to cook cheese with wine. That's pretty interesting. But the word fondue is to melt. Pretty cool, right? It's a French verb, fondre. And so the legend is that peasants and those around were trying to stay alive during the winter months in the Swiss Alps and found that melting cheese and wine together made a very scrumptious, tasty way to be very nutritious to our body and also to stay warm and to use up that stale bread when a lot of people just didn't want to eat that stale bread. So when you go to a fondue house, you might be saying, John, what do you expect? Well, first of all, it's customary to stir in a clockwise or a figure-8 motion to keep the cheese mixed properly. Do not, whatever you do, dip your bread in the pot while someone else is already swirling. Very, very rude. When you pull your bread out of the cheese, twirl it at least 3 times to allow all the excess to fall back into the pot. Do not tap or scrape your bread on the side of the pot. Absolutely refrain from double dipping. In other words, don't dip, eat, and then go back in. Don't do that, okay? You want to keep the right consistency for the heat in there, and you want to make sure that you have the right beverage. Now, most people insist on only dry and acidic wines, but there's other things you can have. Great fondue is absolutely amazing. So people ask me, John, what should I expect at a Swiss fondue restaurant? All right. So when you order fondue at a restaurant in Switzerland, you will get a heavy pot called a Kakelon, which is a Caquelon, of melted cheese stationed on a chafing, or we call it a chafing stand, a rashad, with your cheese fondue, and you'll have a basket of bread cubes for dipping, and some boiled potatoes too. So fondue etiquette. Let's get back to that because this is important. Tradition states that if a woman drops her dipper into the pot, she must kiss all of the men at the table. If a man drops his, he must supply another bottle of wine for the table. These are some fun little rules that people follow all over. But how does Swiss fondue work? Well, cheese fondue is a Swiss dish of melted cheese in a communal pot over a portable stove. And each person uses a long fork to dip small pieces of bread into melted cheese. It's typically eaten indoors, but outdoor fondue is starting to become a little bit popular now. And you might say, John, what do I bring to a fondue place if they're making something like I'm going to someone's house and they're having fondue? Bread, potatoes, apples, broccoli, bell peppers, meatballs, sausage, chicken. Just some of the ideas, right? Fondue is a great thing to have for a Super Bowl Sunday. Now that's coming up pretty soon. Does the alcohol cook out a fondue? So if alcohol is the issue, then most of the alcohol from the wine will have cooked out by the time the fondue is ready. So don't worry about people getting drunk from it. Is fondue a starter or a main meal? So fondue is often eaten in a classic way without any side dishes, starters, or other knick-snacks, we'll call it. The primary ingredient, ladies and gentlemen, of a Swiss fondue, in case you guys are wondering, it's a very sauce-like dish of the Swiss origin, and it's just melted cheese and seasoned together with dry white wine. It is, when I tell you, oh, delectable. I mean, the first time that I went there, and we're all at the table, and we got our dipping sticks. Weren't really sure what to expect, and so we had a few moments to think about it. They explained the different types of cheeses. And what we did is we ordered different kinds so that we could, taste different ones at the table, which was kind of cool. There is a restaurant, ladies and gentlemen, in New Jersey. You guys might know the restaurant. It is called The Melting Pot. Does everybody know that place? So the Melting Pot, it's the original fondue restaurant. Now, not only does the Melting Pot have, how can I say, just cheese, but they also have chocolate. Pretty cool, right? A very unique dining experience. And so they have them all over Arizona, Indiana, Oklahoma, California, Kentucky, Oregon, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Michigan, South Carolina, Delaware, Minnesota, Tennessee, Florida, Missouri, Texas, New Mexico, New York, Virginia, Utah, and good old New Jersey. So in New Jersey, they have them in three different towns. So I'm in New Jersey. One is Maple Shade, one is Red Bank, and one is Westwood. But the thing about um, the Melting Pot is that you have a four-course dinner for two. You could do an a la carte dinner menu. You can do a specials. They have something called a Thursday. And then they have best fondue friends forever. So what's a Thursday? All right. So a Thursday is basically a romance type service. So date night to remember. It's a romantic four-course dinner for two featuring a decadent sparkling chocolate fondue and setting the mood with rose petals and candles on your table. And right now it's $52 a person. So a pretty amazing thing. And a bottle of La Marca Prosecco split for sparkling toast for two for just $12.95. So a pretty interesting evening. The four-course dinner for two is really amazing. So you can do the experience for two. A four-course experience includes your choice of cheese, fondue, salad, and chocolate fondue. And it's $102, ladies and gentlemen, for two people. And there are lots of different choices. You can do big night out for two, 107.95. But a lot of people just want to go there for the a la carte menu. So typically, if you go there for cheese fondue, it's $24.95 for two. They have a Wisconsin cheddar, a classic Alpine, a spinach artichoke, a Fiesta, a Quattro Formaggio, a loaded baked potato cheddar. Um, they have the entree, which you can do like the signature items like a shrimp, Memphis style, dry rub pork, steak lovers, land and sea, and all those are extra. Okay. They range like 33 95, 27.95. Then you have a fondue cooking style. You pick whether you want to do like a court bouillon, like a seasoned vegetable broth. Do you want to do a coq au vin, which is a signature, a burgundy wine, mushroom, scallion, and garlic, gluten free, or a mojo, which is a Caribbean inspired garlic, cilantro, citrus, gluten free, or a cast iron grill tabletop grilling, which is another way. And then you have the bourguignon, which is European style canola oil, panko, sesame tempura batter, gluten free without batter, and panko. So then you have the chocolate fondue. So you can see it makes sense to literally go there. Now, if you're wondering, because people say to me, John, how are the calories? Like, well, I recommend that you not have any other meals that day except some yogurt because serving with a variety of sweet treats and fresh fruits is typically 489 to 504 calories. Yeah. So that means if two of you are eating it, you're basically eating that much. Now, if you go for something like the smooth flavor of milk chocolate, melted with crunchy peanut butter, that one's a little bit less. It's like 289 calories. So, pretty cool. That one, they call that the original. You have a flaming turtle, creamy flavor of milk chocolate melted with caramel, flambéed, topped with a candy pecans. They have a pure chocolate fondue. They have a yin yang. They have s'mores. They have banana foster. They have sweet additions like cream puffs, macaroons, cheesecake. So, what I'm really sharing with you, ladies and gentlemen, is a story and a story of going out to dinner. And I bet what I've just shared with you about, the experience I had going to the Alpines and the Swiss and having my first fondue meal was amazing. or the time I went to the Melting Pot. I think that's also amazing. And I bet it inspired you to go out to one of these places and try it, because these stories are very captivating. Now, even though I talked about me, I was talking about it, and I was probably enticing you so you'd want to get involved. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, been a pleasure, been an honor to be with you. It's amazing. Yes, it's amazing Tuesday evening. I hope you'll like, love, and support my channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And be sure, ladies and gentlemen, to, of course, go ahead and please tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space MRLY Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies, those dollars, that bowl of fruit, or whatever you choose to get us. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new software, new facilities, even new staff, to give you the most jaw-dropping, empowered content to get you to change your life and become even better than you are now. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Feel free to watch this as much as you want. There's lots of precious, juicy nuggets in here to improve your life. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.